Hello everyone, this is James with VG Legends. That stands for Video Gamers Legends. Now remember, I'm not a legend at all. I'm just a regular guy who loves and is very passionate about video games. Guys, I haven't been here for a while, but I have a great video for you today. I'm going to be talking about my top 5 cinematic gaming scenes of all time. The most iconic. My personal top 5. I do not want to be biased. There are a lot of games out there. I have not played them all. But I don't want you guys to be mad at me in the comments and say, "Oh, that's not the best. That's not the best video game cinematic scene." These are my personal top 5. So you might have something different, but also we do giveaways on this channel. So before we even talk about that, let's talk about the giveaways. Because if you leave a comment on this video of your favorite cinematic scenes in video games of all time, you have a chance to win. That will be announced in the next video. This GeForce GT 710 graphics card. Now, I know it's a little bit older graphics card. My son's aunt actually gave it to me. She, for some reason, thinks I'm a PC gamer, but I'm not. She knows I'm a gamer, and she knows I have a YouTube channel, but I'm only a console gamer, so I have no use for this. I will give it away in the next upcoming video, and I will announce it. Message me on VG_Legends. That's how you message me in the next upcoming videos, so you can get these giveaways. I can mail them out to you. But hey, whatever you want to do with this, if you want to trade it in, get some money to buy some new games, or be able to utilize it if you are a PC gamer, hey, it seems like an awesome free gift. So in our last video, though, we did an unboxing of the God of War Ragnarok Special Edition controller. In that video, we were giving away a copy of God of War on the PS2 and Guardians of the Galaxy on the Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles. I'll have my editor leave a picture of those games up in the corner here. Now, I randomized who the winner was in that video who left the comment, and the winner is Ariel S007. Congratulations to you. You are the winner from that previous video. I know that video was done a while ago. But go ahead and message me on VG_Legends so I can get those games mailed out to you. Now remember, the chance to win anything on this channel, leave a comment, like, and make sure you're subscribed. Let's get to it, guys. Let's not waste any more time. Let's talk about these top 5 video game cinematic scenes, my top 5 of all time. Let's do this.
Number 5.
Just to give you guys a gist, I'm going to talk about a little bit about these scenes, then I'm going to say roll it, then we're going to go right into them. So number 5, as you saw there, was from The Witcher 3, the naked and romantic scenes from the game. There's actually several in the game, but the most iconic, I feel, is the opening scene between Geralt of Rivia, the main protagonist of the game, and Yennefer, who is a sorcerer. Now, Geralt is taking a bath. Now, so you see in a scene, Geralt's taking a bath, and he's got his eyes closed, he's laying back, and Yennefer, the sorcerer, she creates this like crab-like, snake-like creature that crawls in with him. He gets kind of startled, and he says to her, "I don't think that's very funny." And then it disappears, so you see that Yennefer's actually using her sorcery. Then the scene actually cuts to Yennefer over on a chair. She's laying kind of sideways, she's reading a book or doing something, and you see her bare bottom, and she gets up, she goes over to a mirror, and you obviously see her from the back, her whole naked body from the back, and then Geralt actually puts his clothes on, and then that's where the cinematic scene ends, and they're talking, and then you start off in the game of him roaming throughout that castle that he's in. Now, the reason why I think this scene is so iconic, the game came out in 2015, and CD Projekt Red already have good efforts from the first Witcher game, and which was received very, very, very well. I know The Witcher 3 had a lot of problems at the beginning of launch, but they did fix that up with a bunch of patches later down the line. And it is a very epic game. I mean, it's a big open world game, and you think of Geralt being a monster killer, a Witcher trained to be a monster killer. It's a very fun game. There's a lot of sorcery, a lot of magic, a lot of different things going on. But there wasn't a lot of nudity in a lot of games back then. So to have this big open world and this big project by CD Projekt Red, and then people saw something like that in the games, that's why a lot of gamers, I think, were talking about it, and that's why it makes my list, and it's number 5 on my top 5 cinematic scenes. Roll it.
You know I don't find that amusing.
It wasn't meant to amuse, but to prod you to hurry. It's midday already. You promised Ciri you'd train with her. Go before Vesemir bores her to death with those etchings.
So, later then.
See you later.
Number 4.
Number 4, as you saw there, is from the Halo series, my third favorite video game series of all time. Very iconic. I Need a Weapon by our Spartan and Xbox very own and Microsoft's most iconic character in video games, Master Chief. I Need a Weapon from Halo 2. I believe he actually says it in Halo Infinite as well, but obviously Halo 2 is definitely more iconic, one of the older games made by Bungie, one of the original games. Now, with the success of Halo back in the day with Halo Combat Evolved back in 2001, I remember playing those games with my friend. The multiplayer was just so epic and still has a lot of influence on FPS shooters, even still today. And I remember using broadband internet with my friends. I'd have a few of them over. We'd have 4 or 5 different systems hooked up. It was just so awesome to be able to do that. And also to think about the FPS campaigns, the actual campaigns of these games. Very good story. The lore of Halo is very deep. It's very epic. I'm not going to get into that because we would talk here. I know a lot about the lore of Halo, but I would talk for 2 hours if I talked about that. But in this scene of Halo 2, so basically the UNSC, they're on a space station, and the general says, this guy on comm says to the general, they're coming from all sides. The Covenant is attacking again. They're bringing their rain down on the UNSC. They're coming from all sides. They're about ready to take over the fleet. They're about ready to take over the station. And then he says to the Master Chief, he says, Master Chief, you protect this station. And Master Chief looks at the captain and says, Captain? No, he doesn't even say captain. He says, I need a weapon. Super, super iconic line, still to today. Very famous line in video game history. Great cinematic scene, and that's why it's in my top 5, and it's number 4. Roll it.
It's not right. The fleet that destroyed Reach was 50 times this size.
Sir, additional contacts. Boarding craft and lots of them.
They're going to try to take our MAC guns offline. Give their capital ships a straight shot at Earth. Master Chief, defend this station.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
Right this way.
Number 3.
Number 3, how could we not put a Mario game in here? The most iconic video game character in video game history of all time. Super Mario from the Mario Brothers games. Obviously, the movie just came out. Mario 64, though, was a really big turning point in gaming history. You got to think back in 1996 when that game came out. We had not seen any light of Mario in the 3D world state of video games ever. So to be able to see that for gamers, something that was fresh, something that was new, something that was open world, something that you could run around with Mario and interact with the world in a different way than you could before, instead of just a 2D platformer, was just incredible to see. Now, in this scene, in the opening scene, first of all, In Mario 64, even when the menu screen comes up and you're able to interact with Mario's face and pull on his nose and stretch out his face, that was super awesome. And I think gamers really were attuned to that. They loved that. But then when you go into the opening scene, what happens is Princess Peach actually writes a letter to Mario, and then you see the cinematic scene. The camera goes around and you see her whole castle in 3D, and people were just like, whoa, dude, like they were blown away. Like, look at this is crazy. And then Mario comes up from that pipe, and then he comes out and he looks to his left and he looks to his right, and then you get full control of him and you see the whole world. One of the most iconic video game scenes in all of gaming history, and I would hope that you would definitely agree. Let's roll it.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
Number 2.
Number 2, as you saw there, Ellie and Joel from my third favorite video game of all time, The Last of Us, the giraffe scene. Now, The Last of Us is very near and dear to my heart because I honestly think it's one of the best stories in a video game of all time. The relationship between Joel and Ellie is just so iconic. It's so epic. And the way they feel about each other, with Joel having the loss of his daughter, and then Ellie coming in and him taking care of her, trying to lead her to the Fireflies because they think they're going to make a cure for... Let's just get right into it. When you have a world, and this is why this scene is so important, when you have a world that is so broken, because you have something like cordyceps, which is a fungus, which I think could maybe potentially happen. You have a fungus of cordyceps that actually is able to realize that it can succeed and stay alive in humans and actually take them over as a host and make them like zombie-like creatures, and then you have this crazy apocalypse and all these people are dying and your family members are dying and it's all this turmoil and all this despair. And then you have the scene where they're in this zoo and they're coming upstairs, and Ellie gets really excited because she tells Joe, she's like, come here, come really quickly. I saw something so beautiful, so pure. She doesn't say that, but that's what I'm trying to express. So he goes up the stairs and there's a giraffe there because they're at the zoo, and they're like on a second floor. The building is broken open, the wall's broken open, and you see this giraffe just standing there. Now, a giraffe is a beautiful animal, so to be able to be in that world and then see something so beautiful and so pure like that at that moment, it's such an iconic scene, and I think you would agree with me. Any gamer would agree with me that it is. And Joel actually goes up and touches the giraffe and encourages Ellie to touch the giraffe too. And she even says, that's so effing cool. So just to say that, and then they go up the stairs, and then it opens up where you see all the giraffes. You see many of them. You see a pack of them out into a field. I forget what city they're in. They're either in Pittsburgh or Washington, but I don't remember at what point of the game they are there. But then you see a bunch of giraffes out there. So to take a world that's full of despair and full of brokenness, and to bring something peaceful and something pure in it, like that scene, just super epic. And that's why it's my number 2 in my top 5. Roll it.
Come on, hurry up. You see this? you doing?
It's all right. Come here. Hey, fella. Hurry up. Come on.
Hey there. So fucking cool. Aw, where's it off to? Here, come on, let's go.
Slow down, kiddo.
Come on. Hurry up, come on. Oh, man. Wow. Look at those things.
So, is this everything you were hoping for?
It's got its ups and downs, but you can't deny the view, though.
Number 1.
Number 1, Resident Evil turning zombie scene. Oh man, you think of Resident Evil, you think of Capcom, why these games are so iconic. They really made the survival horror genre take off in video games when they had those first 3 Resident Evil games. Now, Resident Evil is my second favorite franchise of all time. Resident Evil 2 is my second favorite video game of all time, but this scene is actually from the original Resident Evil game. Now, with this zombie turning, I believe I read somewhere where I read in an article that the directors of the game, they actually used blue on real eyes on the zombie, human-like eyes on the zombie in the original game in the 90s and on the port. So it actually had a blue pupil and iris. But for the remasters and the remake, they actually made his eyes all white to make him look more monster-like, which I thought was really cool. Now, in the scene, actually, you can actually play as Jill or you can play as Chris Redfield. I actually play as Jill, so let's just go along that you're playing as Jill. So, the Raccoon City Police Department, they're looking for this Bravo team, this other team, Alpha Team or Bravo Team, I can't remember. But they get lost and their helicopter goes down and they lose comms with them. So they go out to where their helicopter is, and then there's all these like zombie-eating dogs, this flesh and blood coming off their skin. They don't know, off their fur. They don't know what's going on. They're being chased by them. You go to this mansion. Now, obviously, the remake is a little bit more polished up, so that's the version that I play. But, and that's what you're going to see in this cinematic scene. But then as Jill, you're talking to Barry. You go through this one room and you come through this hallway when you open the door and you see this zombie eating the flesh of one of your fellow police department employees. One of your mates there, and the zombie just slowly turns his face. And it's the first encounter of any Resident Evil game where the character actually sees a real zombie, and that's why it's so horrifying and it's so iconic, and it's my number 1. Let's roll it. Alright everyone, that's the end of the video. Now remember, if you want a chance to win this GeForce GT 710 graphics card, remember to leave a comment below of any cinematic gaming scenes you like. What are your favorites? I'd like to have you leave it in the comments below. Make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and remember guys, whatever it is that you do that's involved in gaming in your life, always keep it legendary. We'll see you for the next one guys. Peace out.